Hey guys, it's Tdawgg. Welcome back to another video. It's been a minute since we've uploaded on the channel. I just wanted to say, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're a new viewer, welcome to the channel. Today we're actually going to be talking about Pro City, and the first thing that I want to lead with here is this clip. If you don't know what Pro City is, Pro City was a hub that was created in Discord by Tarik and a few other people that he pulled from I think his community, so a couple of his moderators, someone from Twitch that he knew, and someone who had a good idea of understanding how to work with a bot in Discord that could create like queues for like 10 mans and stuff like that. Pro City was meant to be a place where pro players, ex-pro players, could kind of have a private hub to play. This was popularized during the time of the whole like crypto throwing gimmick, where there was a lot of like win trading going on, people buying and selling accounts in Radiant, people intentionally throwing games to make like a bunch of money on these like Singapore and like Malaysian websites that did live bets for streamer games. So it was basically created for that. There were people in here that were all the way at the VCT level, and there were people in here that were, just entering the challengers level. It was kind of like meant to be kind of like the highest echelon of like NA competition that it could be. And it sadly is dead, and no one plays it anymore, and no one uses it. And today I wanted to just give some insight on, why, and not just, something as simple as like what FNS did here, where he just answered a question or two from the chat room. And I also want to give my opinion on it personally, rather than just trying to like sugarcoat it and act like it couldn't be alive and thriving like today. So we'll watch this 1 minute clip and then we'll get into that.
Pro City shut down because people don't play it consistently enough. And then there's that whole thing with like authorities being able to remove and add players, and then some people don't agree with the players added or removed. Some people do, so it turns into a whole thing. Pro City was only alive because of Tarik. Once he quit, it died. Well, yeah, but I'm saying before all that happened, like there was some like controversy with adding people, removing people. It's a hard system to get going. Also, the reason FPL was so successful is because there is the immediate cash prizes that FACEIT provided. So people have something to play for besides just games. Does the lack of prizes affect its continuance? Yeah, it does. I think it does. I think you got to give something for people to play for, or else it just gets old.
I go ISO again.
Okay, so first of all the points that FNS makes here are valid. Okay, he talks about how people didn't play it consistently. He talked about how there's nothing to play for in terms of a prize. He talked about how there was a problem with letting people into the server. All these things are true. Okay, what I will say is servers like this that are kind of like meant to run kind of like off of nothing, they are made by who is in the server. So it's dictated by the idea of if people want to use it to improve and get better, they can, and if they don't, they won't, right? So this is the funny part that he doesn't cover, which I will, because I'm not like, it's not that he's like scared to say it or something like that. It's just more so a thing where there's just like, you just don't want to cause problems with people. Okay, the first part about this server that's hilarious is how many free agents are in here, how many game changer players are in here, and how many people who have been dropped are in here. It's literally hilarious how many they are. If we wanted to go through and count it right now, it would probably be a number close to 100. I'm not going to do that just for the sake of like the video, but there are so many people in here who need to be trying to play this server every single goddamn day of their lives, but they don't, because this region is so disturbingly lazy, and they just expect everything to be handed to them on a silver platter. Half of the people in here play like Deadlock all day. They play like a completely different game, and then they like act like they're good, or they like think that they're like pro in this game. It is actually hilarious how many names you will see in the server who need to be playing this game every single day, no matter what, to get better, and this is the best possible place to do it. Okay, when I queue up ranked, I get a no-com Reyna on my team in streamer mode who throws the game. Okay, I go to the career after his name was 6'4" light skin hashtag NPass. I mean, I can't get better at the level I am playing ranked all day and night with people who literally are just on complete autopilot and won't even speak to me, just running around and doing their own thing. It's like a single player game to them. Go ahead and look at the general chat here, okay? Games when? Games, games, games. Val servers are down. Can we run 10s? 8 p.m. Eastern. Not a response. Yo, let's play. Yo. Yo, let's play. Yo. Yo, let's play. Queue up. Pro City Revival. Games tonight. Pro City Revival. Games. You think that you think this is like a month? You think this is like a month of me talking and other people talking? Okay, we're going on the course of like 5 months now. Here we go. Here we go. So right here in May, this is when I sent a message out to around 70 people in this server, and I tried to get them on the same page in terms of, where, like when we can play and what time we can play. And I also got some people who qualified for challengers. I got them invited into the server and I got them some roles. I was like slowly, working on getting it going, and it was like in May here, around this month, the 5th month. So, here we have a moment of a week or two of activity, and eventually it's just going to go back to the same old where, we're just going to be in a position where it's just going to be people asking, when can we play? So here's the message that I sent. So I have it listed here as 30 because at the time that's what it was, but I bumped it up to a lot. And basically this is kind of like the consensus of like what was going on. So everybody who got back to me basically said that they don't really mind the population in the server. It's just some people make the games so much like lesser quality than when they play. So this is the other problem that FNS hasn't mentioned, where obviously there is inactivity in terms of laziness. A bunch of free agents who act like they're good or think they're good rot away in this server and don't even attempt to get the queue going. They don't attempt to do anything like that. They would rather sit around and play ranked off stream in a Discord call with their friends on 50 or 30% effort and just waste their time. It's so funny. Okay, but outside of the fact of that, there was a big click problem in this server. A lot of VCT pros, naturally have egos. I completely understand when they don't want to play with free agents. I completely understand when they don't want to play with people that they don't think are good. But at the end of the day, there really isn't any sort of training aspect in this game. And because they did that, it was also a problem. So there were people, kind of like, again, at the top of the region, in NA, your top, 5, 10 teams, so that makes around 25 to 50 players don't even want to play in the hub because like they're like upset that this is like the highest level. Okay, I agree that there are some people in the server who might not be at the highest level. Okay, here's a name right here, right? Alvin. Okay, so this is Crew Alvin Boy. You've probably seen him in a ranked game. All right, he's not actually on Crew. It's just like a joke. He was a trialed player on a lower tier challengers roster, and I think he was dropped within a few games. Right? Probably shouldn't be in the server. And he hasn't had a problem with anybody. I don't even really think he's played more than like 3 games before. But again, it kind of like is funny where people are kind of just like mad that this is like the highest level of skill in like the region in this server here. Whether they like it or not, and they would rather be egotistical and not play and kind of cross their arms and look the other direction than just like get the queues going, get their friends to play, like whatever it is. I mean, this can run every single night, no matter what, and it doesn't. And it plays into this big picture that we're kind of like coming to here, that this game will fail and it will die if people do not try to like make changes or help or do something different or whatever it is. Another point that he covered in there was, it died when Tarik stopped playing it. I can't speak for Tarik. I don't know if he was like messaged or like nudged by Riot. Hey, stop playing that so much. Go back to playing ranked, okay? All right, here's $1 million. You know what I mean? I don't know if that happened, um, but that was a whole different issue where people would try to intentionally only play when Tarik was playing. And this was more of a lower tier thing. I noticed this with Game Changers players. I noticed this with some free agent players that were a little smaller or less known. They would intentionally wait for Tarik to start playing so they could get on his they could get in his lobby, and they would either be on his team or they would be going against him. And again, that was just like a big thing where, I'm sure people like or want to play in front of 15, 20,000 people a night, but, at the end of the day, like, you're using the server for the wrong thing. Everybody in here can be training and getting better at the game, running these like in-house tens. There's a council that's been preset by Tarik and the admin team here. I believe it's 7 people. They have, the power to vote to either kick people out, bring people in, whatever it is. I mean, this isn't some like caveman thing where it's just a random server that we like play one time. There's almost 900 games logged here. And it's just like so sad to see that this was like something that was like so good, but it was just destroyed by laziness and the egos of the people in this region. It's so funny to me. The majority of people in here would rather play Deadlock, they would rather play a Rust wipe, they would rather play, Immortal or Radiant ranked than queue up in a server with like potentially like 10 current pro players, maybe 8 current 2x, maybe 6 current, 4 free agents that are grinding. I mean, we're acting like the quality of these games is just like at like an all-time low, or just like terrible or something like that when ranked is in the state that it is. So um, again, the reason Pro City died, FNS did make some good points there, but he was definitely just not trying to like cause like a problem or anything like that in terms of his opinion. There's so many people in here who are just clicky, have egos, and it's just the funniest thing in the world. And the idea of there's nothing to play for in here. What what's there to play for in ranked? The glory? What do you want to play ranked for? What do you want what? So you can get radiant? I could do that within the first week of every single act. I could just instantly get radiant because I've done it every single act of every single episode. It's almost like it takes a few days to accomplish. What about, the off season? What about the season? What about a place where you can actually practice and like get better and get good reps? Has anyone realized that when Pro City was going on, everybody's viewer count was up? It wasn't it wasn't Tarik, Sam, and Muda who are just screaming into the mic and jumping up and down and saying W or L, like baiting everybody to spam their like 7 TV emotes, right? Like it wasn't just that. Everybody was kind of like locked in like on the game, and the viewers were loving the experience because it was like a high level of play. They don't get to hear players calm. They don't get to see the utility at play. It was really enjoyable to watch, right? So again, it's just more sad than anything that this was a thing where people can just like invest a little time and energy to get this going very, very easily, but everyone is not interested in doing that because that requires effort. And people would rather just kick their feet up, collect their, ridiculous, franchise salary, or the other end, kick their feet up and scratch their ass, not getting paid in challengers, or getting paid $500 a month in challengers. I mean, we're going to see, guys. There's going to be 2, 3 signed teams in challengers this year. It is going to be the lowest of the low. So, the people can use tools like this to grind and get better, or they won't. It's really kind of like clear cut to me. So the next thing that I want to show here is a server that I have created with the help of a team, some admins, and some moderators. It's called NCIE 10-mans. This is available to anybody. Currently, it's like NA and LATAM North. We don't have any like EU or APAC servers right now. But this is a 10-man server where it's supposed to be a change of pace from ranked. It's not supposed to replace ranked. It's not supposed to be something that you play literally every single day no matter what. But it's meant to be a competitive hub where people can get better at the game. You can play a double controller comp, you can play a double initiator comp. No one in here is going to tell you to, kill yourself when you call a strat, right? Like it would happen in ranked. And again, this is meant for anybody. If you're looking to, start competing, or maybe you just want to get better and you're around, some random rank, Ascendant or lower, we have something for you. If you're somebody who just started competing, maybe you're Immortal or you're Radiant, we have something for you. If you're someone who's been competing and you're Radiant and you're on the cusp of making Challengers, we have something for you. You're in Challengers, we have something for you. You're in VCT, but you don't want to play in a server with a bunch of random people you don't know, we have something for you. It's called the invite queue. It's a controlled queue. We also have a council in the server. I'm one of the people that are in it. People are voted into invite. There's no way to actually promote yourself into invite. In terms of promotion, you can see that there's kind of like a couple tiers here. We do promotions every weekend. So what that means is we track how good you do in terms of win-loss. We see how many games you play. The team here will interview people that you played with on your team or against, and they will ask about you. Hey, how was this player doing? Were they doing good? Were they taught, or was they keeping the vibe up? Whatever it is. If you have this all around kind of like positive feedback, you will be promoted and you will work your way up in the server. This is a great way to network. This is a great way to get better. This is just a great thing to be a part of, where it's a change of pace from ranked, and you can get serious value out of this server if you actually try, if you actually care. So this is more of like an open entry 10-man hub compared to Pro City, which is like an invite only thing. But again, it's kind of just like sad to see videos like this on my feed where people just sugarcoat it. People just stop playing. Yeah, there wasn't really anything to play for. No, 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 no. There's cringe cliques of people who would intentionally not play depending on who's playing. There's smug VCT pros who think they're hot shit and now are dropped and teamless garbage. There's challengers players who have literally the sky is the limit, but they would rather just sit there, scratch their ass, and just do nothing all day. Just brain rot away in ranked. Or better yet, play a different game other than Valorant. Do you think there's anybody on planet Earth who does that? There's no one. You play the game fucking every single day as much as you can. Okay, it's not this thing about quantity, it's also about quality. You can't just like sit there and play for 14 hours a day, right? You need to actually be putting effort forth and getting better. But it's almost like this is how it works. If you want to get better at something, you want to master something, right? This is how you do it. So we've created a tool to do that in NCIE 10-man's NCIE Valorant. There'll be a link below to join that server, and you can also go on Twitter or X, and you can find it there easily. But Pro City can come back literally today. All we need all we need is a little effort put forth for people to actually be able to play and practice, right? What about this off season with all these people trialing? You think that they get great reps in ranked? You think they can actually test out their setups, their ideas in ranked? No, you can't even play a comp with an initiator in ranked. You just get 3 duelists and a clove lock, and you're like, what should I play here? Should I play Sentinel, or you're just dealt this like shit hand, this shit card, and it's just horrid, right? They have the power to fix it. They're still not. They made Phoenix changes. They made Phoenix changes, and nothing came to ranked. It's okay. It's okay. Something will change. Something will budge in time. But Pro City is by no means just this like wasteland. It can be up today. It's just about the players. Unfortunately, the majority of in there are just completely god awful shit, and they don't care about their own player stock. They don't care about the game. They don't care about the community. I mean, everybody's just looking to get some sort of check, some sort of salary with a smile on their face. It's cute. All right, guys. I have some more stuff coming out about Ascension, specifically the teams that won. I'm going to have some roster kind of like reviews or kind of like giving my thoughts on some of these new rosters that are going to be built. One of them will be NRG, so you guys can keep a lookout for that. But the match reviews are still going to exist. I'm also going to be shifting towards some more educational content. Okay, so if you guys have any recommendations or things that you want to see, make sure you leave it down below in the comments. I have a bunch of links down below in the description as well in terms of my socials and some of the sponsors that are supporting us here. Make sure you guys check those out. You can get discounts, free stuff. It's very worthwhile. I appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next Tdawgg out of here. Deuces.